All right, so 8 versus 7. Okay, so far so good. Ooh, is this gonna go to a Kobayashi or is it gonna go to an enclosure or a Chinese? I think Kobayashi is more common, so probably Kobayashi. Okay, so this is actually playable. This is traditional Kobayashi. At 8K, that's all I'm going to say about it. And this is an opening. It's a bit more solid. This gives an invasion point here if you're going to play this way. So I will do slight warning there. This at L4, as opposed to this, I think the idea behind it is we're trying to leave less invasion points behind, but all we're doing is changing it. The invasion point is here instead of the other place. That's it. Here instead of here. And truthfully, at this point, if we're going to do this, and I don't recommend it, like I would rather make this exchange to get a little bit more points or something out of the exchange. But one is a slow move nowadays, so I just don't recommend that or L4, to be honest. Here, okay. Sure. There's that small knight again. You got to be careful with the small knights. Like you're leaving this as a weak point behind, not immediately, of course, but this is a forcing move for it to run away. Because if we try to fight it, I mean, we just can't. Yoink, yoink, yoink. Yeah, I mean, we just can't fight that. And now our corner's in danger of, being killed. So really be careful with it. This is so much more solid. I usually say if you're going to play it, I'd rather do the diagonal because at least this way, if they come in, I have options of immediate counterattacks because I don't have to worry about some weird thing being pushed and cut. So beware the small knights. They can get cut. Large knight here or approach upper right. Fine by me. Don't jump out. This is something that's universal. When we approach the 4/4, we expect a pincer or a back off with a small knight. If we get pincered, we just go into the 3/3 because there is nothing for us here if we jump out. If we jump out, they get territory and we have nothing yet. Now, this is okay. You don't play this. What did you play? Okay. So this is a Joseki, but it's not really one. So it's weird. It's a set sequence, but I don't call this a Joseki because that implies both players have an equal result. This one, something that you will note from even the professionals, in the rare times that this position does pop up, you will see white push all the way out and not even care. Like he'll just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing because he's not afraid of that wall if he's already got something on the right-hand side, or left-hand side, sorry, that we have at D10. So the wall wants to expand to D10, but we already have a nice strong shape there. So this wall isn't very useful. Like this would be embarrassing for the wall, right? I think we could all agree on that. So if we can rule things like this out, then we can rule the wall out in its entirety, and thus we don't want to jump. So just go into the corner, and then continue from there. Now, if for some reason, okay, I can't imagine it, but if for some reason it was super important that we did maintain a top position, we didn't give that influence to your opponent, then what you're really saying is, I regret approaching and we should enclose or take an extension. If the top is important for some reason that we just can't go into the corner and give up influence to our opponent there, then we shouldn't be approaching. So keep that in mind before you pick your move. On this board, it's also completely fine to enclose. You can enclose either way, to be honest. But all right, let's see what happens here. Slow move. Also, we can't play here anymore. Now we have to pincer, and we're not going to be happy about it, but we have to. Reason why we can't do this anymore, if we actually play the normal Joseki, whoops, sorry, yoink, 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 there we go. Well, usually this is considered potentially even because after our opponent cuts through us here, there's still the 3-3. But we just, with Q18, we got rid of that. There is no 3-3. So all this is territory. So now it's just a game losing position. So if we're going to jump out and do the lane, we cannot make that Q18 exchange. Super important to know the sequence. Here, yeah, no, just go ahead and extend for base. Easy peasy. If your opponent plays here, that's fine. We'll go ahead and grab this one too. No problems here. We can expect Sente for black, or not, or sorry, for white, because black's going to give it to us. Because black has to enclose now, the upper left-hand corner. It's the only large point on the board. It's going to be Gote, so something like this should be expected for the next sequence of moves. And at that point, white is definitely looking good because the bottom is invadable, as we mentioned earlier. There's still this kind of thing. So after that, it's hard to picture where black's territory is coming from, aside from the upper left. This is just weird because this is a weak group. Okay, now we're extending. Now that doesn't have to have been played because what is your opponent threatening to do? Push, okay. Now what? So the poke there looks like it's kind of attacking you, but unless you can envision a way that he's going to disconnect you, and there isn't one, so if you can, it's going to involve magic mushrooms. Short of seeing that, this is fine for you. You can just go ahead and counterattack. You can just go ahead and slap a stone there. If they play here, just draw back. You're fine. Now, if you were unaware maybe that you could draw back at 3 to be okay here, I can see why you might think there's a disconnect here. But yeah, totally fine, totally fine. And white, that was greedy. Just get your base. Or approach and give up the stone. That's fine too. I like the only that look better actually, because if you get pincered, this ain't actually that bad for you, eh? The left-hand side. That's looking kind of nice. Yeah, it's looking kind of nice. There's no way that M17 is dead. Like, play here, reduce there. Oof, yeah, I don't even know if this thing dies. Anywho. We're extending now. Okay, yeah. Okay, sure, kick's fine here because we can't pincer, so kick's fine. Yeah. Big move for white, right-hand side. Nice. Big move for black. If I was black, I would play probably the bottom. That invasion on the bottom is really getting to be kind of big, eh? So start making it impossible to play without dying because there's nowhere to go. Kind of small, and I don't think this is a Sente, so I expect a throw-in now. Now you might be saying, but oh, this is threatening to do this one, and you are absolutely 100% right. There is the threat there. And you could say from that we can connect here. And once again, you're 2 for 2. The only trouble is Gote, and then our opponent just retreats. So we got in, yes. We invaded, yes. But then they got out. So it's not, it's large, but it's not critical. So they can go off and do other things. Don't like. It's a little weird. I'd rather do the invasion like I mentioned. If I really thought I needed something here, I would just jump out instead, to be honest. Okay, that's not bad. That, however, is not so great. Now that we kicked, great time to do something like this one. Or if you're not the invadey type, maybe build. You can build to R11. You could do either or. Though one of the options is a little bit better than the other one. Though again, you can play either or. It would be completely up to you to which one you play. We're a buildy type. Okay. Okay. 8Q, 7Q. Do I want to mention this? Sure, why not? Let's get into the mind of a Don player. So Black says the bottom is completely all his. Okay, that's a fine thing to say. White might say, yes, you know what? I think the bottom is completely all his. That is also a completely fine thing to say. We're looking at the board is telling us one thing, we're admitting what the board is telling us. But what we're not answering is how many more stones are involved for that to be all his. So even if I expect the stone to be completely dead, I want to know the answer to this move because, like it or not, this is on the board. This is a weakness that has to be addressed. It has to be addressed. So the question now becomes, how does he answer here? Is he going to kick? Well, okay, if it's a kick, then there's a poke. And if there's a poke, there's a Hane. And if there's a Hane, there's an Atari. And if there's an Atari, there is a not all his. Even if you thought there's nothing here after this, just shoulder hitting to here and forcing your opponent to kill those stones is still very nice for you. As you can see in like maybe a variation like here, where we got to extend a wall with 7 and 9 at the cost of 1, which we had already given our opponent. If you can start thinking like that, then even if you can't read very well, and I know this firsthand, then you can be a Don player. Because we're doing 2 things at once. And that's ideally what we kind of want to start thinking about with our moves. Not all of them, not all of our moves can do 2 things at once. They all can't have multiple purposes. But the more moves that we can put in our game that have multiple values, the harder it is for our opponent to do anything during the game. And of course, if they just do play this branch, I mean this branch, there we go. Then that's all their points. Now they're up their territories in the upper left-hand corner. So they have to invade you or resign. So yeah, here, I think we're just giving away the territory, but you can see how different it is between just giving it to them for free and saying, prove that it's yours, prove that it's yours. So if you can think that way, then you are on the road to being a Don player. And even if like you're 8Q or 7Q or whatever, you might be thinking, oh, that's way too far ahead. And I can't do things like that right now. No, it's not. No, it's not. There's between Q players and Don players is a lot smaller than people think. It's just a question of, do you know what you're doing before you left click? Like, I'm about to click here. Why? Because that bottom is his. Well then, play a probe first. This is something even 1Qs and 2Qs need to do more of, which is why they're not Dons yet. If you start working at like 8Q and 7Q, then it's just going to be that much easier to just skip past them when you get there.
Yeah, I feel in order to see that invasion, you have to be able to see the weakness on the left side.
The thing is, yes and no. Even if you play a stone in here and you don't know about the left-hand side, it's still a good move to play. Because you could say, well, the cap's going to be here. Okay. What's over here?
Yeah.
Like, well, that's a forcing move again. And okay, actually, technically, I can make this live. That's actually interesting. Oh, that's actually cute. Okay, I don't recommend this, but I see something that's fun. Because there's this. And there's this. This could actually straight out live. Even 1 would work, though 1 would be really tough to read. I might miss 1 in my own games. Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, it has a lot of things to lean on for strength first. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely seeing exactly this position would definitely help. This probe here, if you can't see that one, you can see the force move on there into this one. That also works because then they take this and then you go over. Same general idea.
Yeah, it's enough. Just reducing is also enough because
Mhm.
you're also building your right side. So
Yeah. Like just building is okay, but I'd rather get in the habit of looking for, is there anything more I can do before I'm playing the Gote moves? Here, you might be a little bit better off if you look after a little bit shape here. We don't want them pushing and cutting if at all possible. You might be able to hold this, but it's bad habit to be in because now you have to read, okay, where does this go? Where does this go? And I'd rather just back off and just not have to answer those questions. So a little bit of a shape issue here. Very common when it comes up here too, because the cap here is extraordinarily common in games. So not pushing our opponent this way is also a good thing to be in the habit of not doing. That is a little bit slow. I would say we definitely need to jump out here before white claims this area. I mean, did a good job taking the bottom. Now we need to make sure that white can't take the middle. And that one stone, oof, that's some slow stuff right here. Because I totally expect right now, not that one, this one, sure, there we go. Yeah, I expect this cap. White suddenly getting into 4, 5, 6 line territory. Little too slow. Looks like we're losing our mojo here. We did go to the bottom, but now it seems like we're running into not being entirely certain where our next move's coming from. So we can do this. Or if you are, maybe you identify more as a face ripper monkey, you could go ahead and jump in here. There's a weak point if you want to be like all aggressive and attacky, because there's this into this, which could be fun if you want to get into some fighting. But at 8Q, I'm not sure if you want to. Ouch. At any point, white
so
can just be
slow.
like,
Yeah.
hey, this is larger. Yeah, this is known as pushing from behind. We don't want to push from behind because our opponent is going to be getting, more by definition. Slow move. And you're already alive, so I don't know why you're pushing from behind here. Okay. Yeah, it seems like you just needed something to do. And now we're going back and finding slightly better moves here. Very, very interesting. Ow. No, white, you just killed yourself. No. Ow. Things were going so well. Tell my stones I loved them. Oh no. No, 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 no. Okay. Must live. Must live. Must live. Living very important.
Yeah, both sides here were missing out.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, does white notice it? Black notice it? Who sees it first? That's weird.
They
This
both
is
like
actually
that.
better because you just gave this as a dare. I dare you to play it move, or this one actually, because the cut now goes into here. But oh man, now there's like a whole bunch of forcing moves here. It's a lot to read out. I don't think you lived through this. Yeah, I'm not confident you're gonna survive. Anywho. Ooh, you're strong here. Play the Hane. Don't just give him 4 lines of territory for free. If he cuts, drop the stone. Don't even Atari. Don't even look at it. Just pull back. The whole important thing here. I mean, you could actually Atari the stone, but let's say you couldn't read that. The important thing here, keep those 4 lines away from your opponent. Nothing else matters. If he kills that stone, bomb, whatever. See ya. Didn't like you anyway, stupid stone. Just get in there. Oh, pain, Hane. If you're strong in the area, Hane. Most aggressive, most aggressive. Ouch. That's a lot of points. Too passive, Black. You're like aggressive building the bottom, but you're very, very passive in fights. You need to work on that because that means anyone who has any kind of aggression is just going to stomp your face in. And that's not going to be very pleasant unless you like your face getting stomped in which case I don't judge. See, even there, you backed off. Your opponent is literally an Atari. Very strange. Like, yes, there's this, but there's no
Yeah,
problems
White
there.
weakens himself to that. So
Yeah. Yeah, you're just really okay. Now, really, now you try to kill him. Okay, make up your mind. Technically, this is a co. You play there, and then here, here, which is annoying because that shouldn't be a co. But yeah, you kind of did yourself in here. Unless I'm being stupid and you can kill this. Hold up, my life and death sucks. Give me a second to make sure. There. Yeah, I think he's fine now, right? Okay. I think he could have just played here because a cut doesn't work. This should be a headache. Really? There's no way that shape actually killed. Because yeah, we can't do this. We can't do this. No way that this actually kills. Oh, he was supposed to play maybe this for Ko? Yeah, I think that still should have gone into a Ko.
But it's still a difficult one, though.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Were you bamboozled? Dude, you're one liberty okay.
She tried it.
Yeah. Oh, we
Finally.
are going to, yeah, nice. Okay, let's see if you can kill it. Ouch. So if you just connect here, there's nothing you can do. Like he can play here. Let's see, which way is the best way to do this one? There. Yeah, sure. Just like literally poke at this. And then here, I guess. Should be fine. Nice and easy kill. Because we can't do anything in there. Okay, connects.
Yeah,
Close enough. 1, 2, 3, 4 liberties. Yeah, okay. Oh, we're getting fan. Oh, nice. Okay, killed it. Good enough. No. Let us celebrate by not being crazy. Just keep the stone away. Keep all your
you
territory.
winning, yeah.
Yeah. Now, one thing I do want to point out is I really want Sente here to go back and continue harassing. This is huge. Because he can't really do this one. Also, there's this. Into things like this one. With all those cutting points, it's just really ugly. There's just too many cutting points around. But yeah, this is classic. You Atari on one side, and then they try to swoop in from the other side. Even just backing off here to prevent that is A-okay on this board. Yeah, that was Sente. Ooh, Sente for you. The reduction on the right is still really, really huge. Nice. Okay. Whoa. Yeah, okay, I guess that's fine. Not in there. Yep, that goes nowhere. I think that's the end of that game. Does he protect? Okay, protected there. Yep, that's it.